United States Highway 6, 6 Business, and 6N. Yeah! Alright, US 6 in Pennsylvania is a route that travels throughout all the way of the north of the state. The main road goes from Conneaut Township to Matamoras, with business routes located in Warren, Tunkhannock, and Carbondale. However, a branch of the road in the northwest, called US 6N, travels up from Edinboro to West Springfield. I'll show you these routes in the order provided. So first, we're going to talk about eastbound US 6, the main route. When we leave Ohio, we get this little Welcome to Pennsylvania sign. Now, I didn't see any signs for what it's signed for a while, so here's some towns it goes through. Pymatuning North, Linesville, and Conneaut Lake. From I-79, we can see that there are 3 US routes altogether, US 6, US 322, and US 19. And where they're all signed for Conneaut Lake and Meadville. Meadville is our next town. This is the best view of Meadville that I could find from US 6. As we're still joined with US 19, where it's signed for Erie, we are signed for Corey. At US 19, US 6 will turn right to go east, and to the west we actually get US 6N, which we'll be talking about going westbound. From this point we get our first mileage sign, with Union City at 9 miles and Corey at 20 miles. Here in Union City, we are running with PA 8 for a little bit, and we also get a 2 PA 97 sign. Then later on in Corey, we then get Union City for west, and Warren is our next town. In Irvine, just before Warren, we meet with US 62 South, which is signed for Tidioute and Tionesta. Please correct me if I'm wrong on the pronunciation. And US 62 North is signed for Ludlow Street and the Business District. That's in Warren. In Sheffield, we got a split with US 6 to PA 948, and the route we see to the right is PA 666. PENNDOT! Are you trying to have us take a road that'll lead us straight to Satan's kingdom? Like, are you out of your mind? But anyways, after Sheffield, we get Ludlow at 8 miles and Kane at 17 miles. Or is it Kane? Please let me know. Quick little view of Kane. Kind of a bit of a rundown town. Once we're past Kane, we then get a sign saying Smethport at 18 miles. And then once we're in Smethport, we then get Cootersport. And once we're in Cootersport, we meet with PA 44, and at this point we are signed for Wellsboro, which is actually quite farther than the other towns signed so far. 45 miles. Once we're in Wellsboro, we meet with PA 287 and PA 660, and now we're signed for Mansfield. Next, we meet with US 15 in Mansfield. US 15 is something we're going to talk about soon. Here it's signed north for Corning, which is in New York, and south for Williamsport, so those are pretty good. Then, in Troy, we meet with PA 14, and now we're signed for Towanda. And why would you put Troy for just a single mile? You could just go Mansfield there. Then, before Towanda, we meet with US 220, which is signed for Sire and Williamsport. So, pretty good there. Then, once we're in Towanda, US 6 will turn right to go east, and now we're signed for Wysox. Only 2 miles? I can't believe I'm doing this, but here you go, US 6. Well, in Wysox, now we get Wyalusing. At least that's what you should sign a US highway for, not just something that's less than 2 miles away. In Wyalusing, we now get Laceyville for only 7 miles. Why though? Why? I mean, it's not only 2 miles away, it's 7 miles away. A split off with our business route and bypass route happens in Tunkhannock. The business route is signed for Tunkhannock as it will go into the town, and the bypass is signed for our next town, Scranton. So, perfectly done. As we're signed for Scranton, you can also see this 2 I-81 shield in the background, because that's what we'll be joining up with soon. This is at that Clark Summit interchange for East US 6, South for 76, and I-81, all signed for Binghamton and Wilkes-Barre. I mean, that's the interstates' control cities, so you can put that there. This is where we started going south on I-476, but this time we're going to take the exit for I-81 and US 6 East for Binghamton and Wilkes-Barre. We will be joining up with South I-81, signed for Wilkes-Barre. I-81 South splits off, and don't even remind me of that sign we see on the left. I ranted about it on the 380 video. But we're signed for Carbondale now, because that's our next town. Once we're in Carbondale, we now get Honesdale. Then in Honesdale, we meet with PA 670 and PA 191. And at this point now, we are signed for Hawley. Now, since US 6 doesn't go through anywhere much until Milford, I couldn't find a sign for Milford, so I skipped to Milford, so now we're signed for Matamoras, which is the last town we get in Pennsylvania. We meet with I-84, which is signed for Scranton, and Port Jervis, which is just across the river. You need to go Hartford. Meanwhile... And now we are crossing the bridge over the Delaware River into New York. So that's the end of the eastbound portion, so now let's talk about westbound. US 6 Main, US 6 Business, and US 6N. After the bridge, we're not getting a welcome sign, but we're actually getting Gateway to Pennsylvania. That's something I haven't seen before. In Carbondale, there is a business route, so we will be taking that this time instead of the bypass. Here is a look at downtown Carbondale. Pretty neat town overall. Later, back on the main route, we meet with I-81, and this time we're gonna join the northbound route heading to Binghamton. Once we get to the Clarks Summit interchange, that's not what this interchange should be signed for, it should be signed for more stuff than that. We get West US 6, US 11, and South I-476. The right lane exits for I-476 to Allentown, so perfectly done. Turnpike, and we get West US 6 and US 11, it's Clarks Summit. I'm not going to allow that. US 11 South splits off for Scranton, and US 11 North and West US 6 are going to Clarks Summit. We're in Clarks Summit, so sign something different. Here's where US 11 splits off. It goes to Binghamton, and we are signed for Tunkhannock now. In Tunkhannock, we now split onto a business route again. This is what downtown Tunkhannock looks like. It's quite forested. We now come back to the main US 6, and we're signed for Towanda. Quite far away. When we look on US 220, we can see that we're signed for Towanda and Troy. Troy is our next town. And I also haven't showed you what it looks like from US 15 yet. Signed for Mansfield and Wellsboro. Wellsboro will be next from here. In Warren, we now have a right turn for our third business route, and also to North US 62. Also, these are very weird US shields. Here's a little bit of downtown Warren, a little smaller than some other Warrens around the US, and once again we join back with the main route, US 6. We meet with US 19. US 6 will turn left, and we're gonna go straight onto US 6N. Now there isn't much to show on US 6N, so on I-79 it is signed for Edinburgh and Albion. Then if we look on I-90, we can now see it's signed for Cherry Hill and West Springfield. Those are too small, but West Springfield is where it ends. And here is where US 6N ends. And that'll be it for our US 6 journey in Pennsylvania. Thank you for watching today's video. I will see you in the next episode.